My man, Cap, what's going on? You ready? Let's do this. You're all studying and everything.
Yeah, I got all
We're
my stuff
live,
right
buddy.
here.
We're live.
Derby Prep Show is live. We are ready to go. I'm excited. I'm down in my man cave. Here's where I put on all my horse racing shows, my Club Hawthorne app, and I'm ready to go. My guy, Jim Miller. How are you?
I'm good, Cap. It's been a long time. You're a very busy man. I love the fact that you're covering football. You're on ESPN 1000. You're calling hoops games on the weekend, traveling all over creation, coming up to conference tournament time, which is going to be even crazier for you. And you're taking time to talk racing with me, my friend. That's the awesome thing. I know you have a passion. I know you love racing. I hear you do the Hawthorne reads when you're on ESPN 1000 every day. But I know you don't even need the reads. You just know what's going on because you are a player. You love the sport. You love the game. And you've done pretty well at it too, my friend.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Last week, I'm sitting there doing all my handicapping as we're getting ready for the Super Bowl. I'm playing races on Sunday. Like I always have TVG1, TVG2, or all the live video stream through the Club Hawthorne app. And it's, for me, it's the original sports betting that I was raised on.
Yeah, and it's true. And it was. I mean, it was a spectator sport that you could go out and make some money on. And that's the thing. Horse racing is the original sports betting. We're very fortunate enough here now in Illinois that we do have legalized sports betting. You saw everything was tremendous for Super Bowl. The PointsBet Sportsbook locations at Hawthorne, Crestwood, and Prospect Heights did very well. The state did very well too. But Cap, it's nice to see that crossover with the horse player and the sports bettor now, because you're seeing people coming in, they're betting sports, they're watching the races as well. So when you can have full card simulcasting on one end, you can have sports betting on the other end. It's kind of a nice combination to see, and I think it's only going to grow.
It is only going to grow, and now we have all the Derby prep races, the Risen Star this weekend, the Barbara Fritchie. We got all these different races. You just start accumulating points for one of my favorite days of the year. I love opening day, 2 days of the March Madness. I love the Super Bowl. I love opening day of baseball. Hard to beat the Derby.
Yeah, it is hard to beat the Derby. And what we're going to do each and every week leading up to the Derby, Cap, is we're going to do the show on Thursday afternoon at about 2 o'clock. We're going to talk about the upcoming Derby preps, but we're putting it on Hawthorne's YouTube channel so people can go back and take a look leading up to those races each and every Saturday. Just a chance to analyze the races a little bit, but also a chance to give everybody a head start on our Spring Stakes Showdown at Hawthorne. And this is a little bit different contest, Cap. It's 20 stakes races each and every weekend, and it's not going to be limited just to the Derby preps, but you're going to get a mythical $20 win place wager. It's free to sign up for it. You don't have to live in Illinois, but the prizes are awesome. There's an NHC seat on the line. There's multiple $1,000 prizes for each of the representative Club Hawthorne OTB location type setups. So there's going to be 10 of those out there too. And Cap, you get a chance to go against me. You get a chance to go against you. This week's first race is the Barbara Fritchie Stakes. Now, this is one of those things where it's not a 3-year-old prep race, but it's a cool race, Cap. It's at Laurel Park. Fillies and mares are going 7/8 of a mile. And Cap, the reason we chose this race is because each and every year for the Breeders' Cup, you have the Filly and Mare Sprint. Filly and Mare Sprint is a 7/8 of a mile race. There's not a lot of great sprint races for fillies and mares, but this is one earlier on in the year that kind of gives you a head start. So I want to talk briefly. We'll give each of our selections for the Spring Stakes Showdown, but I'm going to let you go at it first, Cap. It's race number 8 at Laurel on Saturday. What did you like with the Barbara Fritchie?
Okay, so I'm going to play Jakarta. This was a bargain basement horse that they did not pay a lot of money to buy this horse. It's the 70th running of that race. And Jakarta, first start on turf for the new connections, won a claiming allowance, back on dirt, got a stakes win in the powder break at Gulfstream. And I really like this horse. I think this horse has a chance to be, I'm not going to tell you special, but be pretty solid. And I think it's the best horse in the race this weekend.
That's going to be your play. And here's the thing. It's a 9-time winner for nearing $500,000. The horse surpasses $500,000 with a win in this race. Has raced at the distance 3 times, does have a win. The one thing for me with Jakarta, it's going to be the first start at Laurel Park. So that was the only reason that I wasn't too sure about it. But at the same time, there's some that have run here at Laurel, some that haven't. I went with a horse that also did not race at Laurel Park. That was Glass Ceiling. That's the 2-horse here. I think this is the only horse that can't beat Jakarta. I'm eating chalk in this spot. I want to get some money when we get started for the Spring Stakes Showdown. But the thing that's interesting is you look at these graded stakes, Cap, you can't race on Lasix in a graded stake. So you have to look at how horses have performed without Lasix. And that's the thing that I like, because you look back, all right, Jakarta's last start out came off Lasix, ran a good race in the grade 2. Glass Ceiling in those starts 2 and 3 back raced off of Lasix. Both of those pretty good races also. I think it's going to come down to a rider's race. Jakarta's a horse that can show some speed. My horse is going to have to try to catch that horse, but Glass Ceiling's going to be my play in the Spring Stakes Showdown. But Cap, you're getting a little bit better value. So that's one of those things. If you win, you're going to get the jump on a lot of people, especially for those that pick Glass Ceiling. And I know you like prices, my friend.
And Glass Ceiling was a $40,000 claimer. It's not like this horse had, sheiks bidding millions of dollars against this horse. Glass Ceiling is very good in the slop, too. The last race that I watched of Glass Ceiling was the Garland of Roses and won it in the slop. This horse has got a lot of good qualities about it.
There's a lot of good qualities. I love when a rider is willing to travel with a horse, because then he thinks that horse is good enough. So Dylan Davis, the regular jock for this horse for the last 5 starts, goes with Glass Ceiling again. That's one thing that I really like. But Jakarta gets a guy, and Victor Carrasco, who is very familiar with the Laurel Park track. So, Cap, we'll see how things unfold there. But the focus this week, Cap, my friend, really comes on the Risen Star. Now, this is the first of the 50-point Derby preps. And the Derby, Cap, this year is interesting. And we got to talk about it a little before we get into this race, because right now, Bob Baffert's horses are not allowed to accrue points going towards the Kentucky Derby.
Correct.
Doesn't mean they're not allowed to race in some of these prep races, Cap, because they've not only been racing, they've been winning some of these preps leading up to it. So it does a couple of things. If Baffert's not reinstated, these are horses that will probably pop up in the Preakness. Also, what it does, it takes potential points away from other horses that are trying to get points going into the Kentucky Derby. So it's one of those things we're going to talk about as we get into some of these later Derby preps, Cap, because you are going to see some Bob Baffert horses, and we're going to have to talk about them for sure, but you have to make a determination on how you want to use them, because they're not going to be qualified for the Derby, at least as of right now. So it's one of the things I think it's interesting. He had the winner Medina Spirit last year. A lot of controversy surrounding that, though, Cap. So I'll be curious to see kind of how things unfold this year. But what are your thoughts, I guess, on the situation, first of all? And do you think there's a chance of even reinstatement for him before the Derby?
Well, before I go there, I just want to let everybody know to visit any Club Hawthorne OTB. There's a ton of new locations. You and I and our friend Dakota Schultz, he took us to lunch there. Outstanding. The one that was up off of, I believe, Route 176. Had a great meal. It's beautiful. I think there's 14 locations now. Everything's been remodeled. You can watch all your sports. You can bet on all your horses. And you can play anytime on the Club Hawthorne app. That's what I do. I love playing through the app, or I get my laptop out and bam, here we go. There's nothing like deciding, you know what, let's just go out and have a good meal and let's play some ponies. It's a lot of fun.
Well, and the cool thing about the app, too, is you can take it to any of our Club Hawthorne OTBs and you can cash out right there. You get a scan code, you can cash out on the machine, cash out with the app. But like you said, we have locations all over the Illinois area, not only the Chicagoland area, but you have Northern Illinois locations, Southern Illinois suburbs, and that is always Hawthorne Racecourse, too. And Cap, we're racing year-round now. We have harness 6 months out of the year. We have thoroughbred 6 months out of the year. So things are going to be very busy each and every weekend. All right, Cap, the Risen Star this weekend goes as race number 13 at Fairgrounds on Saturday. It's a good race. You go 1.125 miles on the main track here. This is a race that carries a $400,000 pot. It's the first 50-point race. And what we've seen in the past, Cap, 50 points is enough to get you in the Derby. It gets you in the starting gate. So if you win, you're going to be in the gate. So that's one of the things that's very important. But I kind of want to run just through the field here before we talk about some of our selections. But, Cap, I wanted to start with the inside horse and get your thoughts on the one horse, Papa Cap. This is a horse that's been racing on the West Coast before going to Fairgrounds in that last out. But this is a horse that does look to have a little bit of ability.
Yeah, Tyler Gaffleone and Mark Casse. I can't stay away from a horse that has Cap in it.
Right.
So
Okay.
Papa Cap 4-1 on the morning line, tied with Smile Happy for second on the Kentucky Derby points leaderboard. Both have 14 points right now. So to win this race, they're a lock to be in the Derby.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, Papa Cap's an interesting horse. I thought I had a dream trip in that last out and just didn't get the job done. But the horse is consistent. Russian Tank, I would say normally you can toss a horse like Russian Tank out. But here's the thing. Trainer Gennady Dorochenko had a horse by the name of Hero of Order. Hero of Order won the Louisiana Derby at odds of over 100-1 in recent memory. I think it was within the last 10 years, something like that. Crazier things have happened, Cap. So that's why they run the race.
Okay, let me just tell you, as you go back for a second on Papa Cap.
Yes.
Papa Cap teamed up the jockey Tyler Gaffleone and Mark Cassie with War of Will in 2019, and that horse went on to win the Preakness Stakes.
Yep.
And I think that horse should have won the Derby that year and got cut off at the top of the stretch because I had him.
That was part of the whole maximum security disqualification setup and everything. You're right. That was the horse that took the worst of it by far. It was amazing that the horse just stayed on his feet. So I thought that was really, really a good effort. And you're right. It's nice to see those two paired up again. It's not like it's a new pairing by any means. I was looking through it and I'm like, man, it's been Joe Bravo. And I think Joe Bravo was the rider all the way up to that last race. And like I said, there was no excuse, Cap, for that horse losing in that last start out. Had a rail move, wide open, just wasn't good enough to run by.
Now, for me, by the way, Russian Tank is a toss-out because I can't bet every horse. I know that the combinations had the big win, but this horse has been better on turf than on dirt. I just look at this horse and I don't see it. I got to leave somebody out. I'm leaving the 50-1 shot out.
I don't see it either. And you know what? The beautiful thing, the horse ran second on the turf at Hawthorne, so that was against maidens, but at least we know the horse locally. I'm going to skip by the 3 horse for a second, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. The 4 Tawny Point, this is a horse that's interesting to me only for this reason. Brad Cox wins a ton of races. He has a ton of very good horses. He teams up with Florent Giroux often and has a lot of success there. Now, numbers-wise, Cap, this horse doesn't look good enough on paper. To me, there's a reason why this horse is there. There's a reason why this horse is in this race. Did you give this horse any consideration at all?
I actually did because I'm a big Florent Giroux guy.
Yep.
I met him. He was here in town riding. I got a chance to spend a little bit of time with him. And I do think he's a quality rider. So I did give it some thought. It isn't my pick to win the race, but I do think at 12-1, there's a little bit of value there.
There is a little bit of value there. I agree with you on that spot. We're going to skip a couple of others again because we'll get back to them with our selections. I want to talk about a couple of horses a little bit further out. Zandon and Smile Happy here. Talked a little bit about Smile Happy there, Cap. This is a horse that raced in the Kentucky Jockey Club. Won that race, ran a pretty good race. But what do you make, Cap? Because I know you are a workouts guy here. And a horse like Smile Happy hasn't raced since November the 27th. Has been working consistently towards a return. A couple of decent works. Do you think a horse like this needs a race coming back? Or do you think the horse will be ready to go?
I actually do think this horse will be ready to go, be sharp. These are the opportunities that you point for. You owned horses. I just had my horse claimed, and I'm looking for another one.
Attaboy.
When you get a chance to find an opportunity to get yourself in a Triple Crown race, especially one as prestigious as the Derby, they're all great.
Yep.
You have a chance to get in the Derby, you're not throwing this horse in there if you don't think you have at some point a chance to win.
I agree with you. And Kenny McPeak spots his horses well. He usually doesn't over race his horses either. If he can get enough points to get in, he's going to space it out. I'm with you. I think Smile Happy has a shot. Right next to that one, let's talk about Zandon quickly. This one from the barn of trainer Chad Brown. Another horse coming in off a little bit of a layoff. But, Cap, this is a horse that I figured you had to give some consideration to. Just looking at the last workout, a bullet drill, 48-2 on February the 12th. I know you love your workouts, Cap. Did you give any consideration to Zandon in this race?
Yeah, I actually did because I'm also a Chad Brown guy. I
Good.
think he's really special trainer. And I looked at this horse. I will use it in exotics. It's not the horse that I picked, but I do think its stalking style gives it a real chance to win this race. This is a very quality thoroughbred with Jose Ortiz up. The horse has got 1 win and 1 second in 2 starts. It's got 4 measly Derby points. So this is a big race for this horse.
This is a big race for this horse for sure. All right, Cap, let's go to our top selections for this race because your top pick was an interesting horse to me. I want to hear your logic for this. Your top pick in this race is a pretty good price here, Cap. This horse, I looked back, was 10-1, I believe, here in the morning line. This is your lock of the race, Cap. Trafalgar, the 3-horse here, comes from the barn of Al Stall. Tell me about Trafalgar. What do you like with this horse?
Okay, so it enters off a pretty solid, better than maybe the results on paper look, 4th place, rallying in the stretch. It's a stalking style horse. Belated rally in the stretch, finished behind a long shot winner and Call Me Midnight in the LeCompte Stakes. I just think that this is a horse that can handle Smile Happy, Zandon, Slow Down Andy. I'm going to have in my exotics. I like Slow Down Andy a lot, but I really think this horse has speed, could hit the board at good odds. I see value. I'm on Trafalgar.
Trafalgar for you, Cap. And here's the thing. All right, blinkers on for this horse as well. So this is one of the things that's really interesting. The horses run over the track too, Cap. So there's no reason why you don't have to include this horse. If this horse wins, you're going to make a lot of money too.
All right, there's one other note for you.
Yes.
Okay, Colby Hernandez is the rider. He has never won the Risen Star, but he's the leading jockey at Fairgrounds. He knows this track like the back of his hand, and now he wants to go, yeah, I'm the leading rider here, but now I clicked off the biggest race at this track. I think he's going to be motivated, and I think this is a horse that's peaking at the right time. 10-1, all in.
And I like this move, Cap, too, because like you said, the horse is familiar with the track. The rider's familiar with the track. It's a very long stretch of Fairgrounds. It's very similar to Hawthorne. So this is a horse that can get into the mix. Al Stall has this horse stabled at Fairgrounds. I can see Trafalgar getting in the mix too. Now, for me, my top selection, my lock in the race is going to be the 5. That's Epicenter. This one from the barn of Steve Asmussen. We know Steve Asmussen, of course, has Derby contenders left and right. But again, this is a horse that chose to go the Fairgrounds route coming into this race. They raced in the Gun Runner on the day after Christmas. The horse stalked the pace in there, took over the lead in the lane, and then just ran on late. Now, that last out in the LeCompte, that was an interesting race because here's the thing. You look, this horse is on the lead the whole way. He gets caught by Call Me Midnight nearing the wire. I went back and watched the replay of this race. This horse was pushed by 2 bombers every step of the way and never gave in. But when a horse like Papa Cap was coming up along the inside, Epicenter was still able to hold that horse off. I don't think there's going to be the same amount of pace pressure in here. So I do think a horse like Epicenter can come back, can bounce back. And the fact that this horse has never once raced on Lasix. Every race has come off of Lasix. You can't race on Lasix to accrue Derby points either. I like that for some of these younger horses. So Epicenter is going to be the horse that I went to in here. This is the horse that I like in this spot. And Cap, this is the horse when we get around to our wagers, I think I can make some money on this horse too. What did you think of Epicenter?
Well, Epicenter is a really good horse. So let me give you a few of the things that I have written down here on my notes. Steve Asmussen has won the race twice with Pyro and Gun Runner. And the owner, Winchell Thoroughbreds, owned Pyro, co-owned Gun Runner. And last year, Winchell and Asmussen finished 3rd with a horse you liked, Midnight Bourbon.
Yeah, I did like Midnight Bourbon a lot. I thought Midnight Bourbon was going to be a horse that was going to be really, really good. We know Gun Runner was really, really good, Cap. So it's one of those things where they're sending out quality horses left and right. All right, onward to our sleepers here. Now, these are the horses that could be a factor a little bit underneath in this race, may provide a little bit of value as well. And for you, you talked about this horse a little bit earlier. That was a 10, Slow Down Andy. This one from the barn of trainer Doug O'Neill. You're moving from west to east for this horse. But, Cap, what was it that jumped off the page for you with Slow Down Andy?
Well, he ran really, really well at Santa Anita. He's won races on 3 different tracks. I don't like the post position as much, but I do think this horse has really good pedigree. It's proven it can win in unfamiliar surroundings. His trainer, Doug O'Neill, is outstanding. Mario Gutierrez up, very solid jock. I'm all in with Slowdown Andy to be part of my exotics. I really like this horse.
I think he could be a part of the exotics as well. And here's the thing. If this race were the Lecompton and we're a mile and a 16th, the 10 hole would scare me a little bit more than it does at a mile and eighth. You get a much longer run into the first turn. So you're right. Post position could be a problem. I think Mario Gutierrez is going to do enough to get the horse away from the outside and at least tucked in into that first turn and save a little bit of ground. So that's a horse that could be a factor. For me, it's Zandon. You talked about this earlier, Cap. You love Chad Brown. I agree with you on that. Jose Ortiz rides the horse. The horse has worked well. Initially, you'd say, okay, this horse raced at Belmont. This horse raced at Aqueduct. Why didn't they run in the Withers up at Aqueduct? Well, here's the thing. You look, all winter long, the horse has been training down in Florida. So because of that, Zandon makes the logical move. They could have gone the circuit of the races at Gulfstream, or they could go the route of the fairgrounds races. So they're going to the fairgrounds spot here. I think Zandon could be a factor. And here's the thing that's amazing. You talk about how good of a trainer Chad Brown is. Off a layoff of 61 to 180 days, he wins 25% of the time, Cap. Not just finds the money, wins a quarter of those races. That's a big number there. So Zandon's going to be a horse that I thought could be in the mix. I know it's a horse that you gave a little bit of consideration to as well.
I did, but Slowdown Andy also has tremendous breeding. It's the son of a Kentucky Derby winner in Nyquist.
Yep.
So great pedigree. I almost took this horse to win the race. I just couldn't stay off my original choice.
Hey, when your original pick's 10-1, there's no reason why you should stay off that, Cap. I'm totally with you there. All right, long shot plays of the race. Now, these are horses that we may or may not put into our wagers, but they're horses that do have a shot to get into the mix. And when you talk about long shots, you're looking for a little bit of a price here. You're looking for horses that are, say, 8-1, 10-1 or higher. We each have horses as long shot plays that can be a factor. Now, trainer Todd Pletcher, time and again, Cap, always has horses that are in the Derby, has horses that are acquiring Derby points. He has to scatter these horses all over the place, Cap, just so he can find a place to try to get points with some of them. And you landed on one here for your long shot play, Cap. That's Pioneer of Medina. Tell me what you like with Pioneer of Medina as your long shot.
Okay, let me bring my notes up here on Pioneer Medina because the 6 horse, Luis Saez, is one of the best in the world.
Yep.
Can we agree? So
Yeah.
I've got a great rider. I have top 3 trainers in the game in Todd Pletcher. Phenomenal. This is a horse that's got 2 wins in 4 starts. It needs to click something on the Kentucky Derby leaderboard because it has nary a point so far to be able to point that way. It's 10-1. I got jockey, I got trainer, and I do not believe that Todd Pletcher would put this horse in this race if he didn't think he had a real chance. Plus, he is shipped in and won in the Risen Star with Discreetly Mine, El Padrino, Intense Holiday. He's got success here. I think he smells victory with a 10-1 horse. It will absolutely have a ticket from me.
All right, let me ask you a question, Cap. Just getting a little bit off topic, okay? You had the Super Bowl last week. Okay?
Yes.
What was the basketball? You were just calling a game. What was it, Valpo?
I had Loyola at Valparaiso last night at Valpo.
Last night. All right. So one of 2 things happen. You either just have an insane memory when it comes to racing, or you didn't sleep while you were putting together all these notes in preparation for this. So it had to be one of the 2. I'm banking on you limited your sleep and put in your time to your homework here, because some of the stuff that's spewing out of here is incredible. This is good knowledge for this race, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that. I have to keep up with you. You're the guru. I hear you every Friday with Carmen and Yurko, and all I hear is, Jimmy! And all he does is give out winners. So I've got my feet to the fire.
You know what? It's been a good run. It's been like a 7-month run. It's been insane on the odds couple. We've had a lot of fun there. So hopefully I can keep doing it. Now, you talk about long shot plays. This is a horse we talked about a little earlier, Cap, is my long shot play. That's the 4. That's Tawny Port. Now, Tawny Port is a horse that, like we said, comes from the barn of trainer Brad Cox. Here's the thing that interested me. Your long shot play was Pioneer of Medina. You look at that last out, that race came at the fairgrounds. That was a victory at the fairgrounds. The rider was Florent Giroux. Now, I'm sure Florent could have stayed on this horse. Florent's ridden horses for Pletcher in the past. He rode an Illinois Derby winner in Jovan in the past for Pletcher. He goes over to Brad Cox, who he's had a ton of success for as well. He rides Tawny Porton here. This is a horse that raced twice on the synthetic at Turfway Park. So you don't know what you're going to get out of this horse on a conventional dirt surface. Maybe the horse runs huge. Maybe the horse doesn't run a step, but the horse is going to be a good price as well. So I'm going to go to Tawny Porton here, take a little bit of a shot in this race, and just kind of see how things unfold. Cap, there's one other thing that I want to look at here. You go through this field, and the one thing that I just wanted to make a note of, because you did talk about it, there's only one horse that you tossed out in this race. That was a 2 Russian Tank. Yep. Russian Tank is the only horse that is not Derby nominated right now. So that's one of the things you have to toss that horse, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've looked back at some of my tickets, all the losers that are all over the ground, and I've gone, why did you have that horse in? It had no chance. So I'm trying to get better at going toss out, limit my exposure, and then zoom in on the ones I really like. By the way, if you're watching our show here, please tell your friends. It's available on YouTube. Download the Club Hawthorne app. You can go to hawthorneracecourse.com. You can make wagers on your phone, on your iPad. You can also do your sports wagering through PointsBet at Prospect Heights, where I go. Yep. Crestwood, which is a beautiful new book. And then, obviously, everything over at Hawthorne Racecourse. And download the PointsBet app because mobile registration is coming back in, I think, 2 weeks. The governor has finally been able to get this back through, so you can do everything on your phone there to download that PointsBet app, your Club Hawthorne for your horses, and then get out to the track and have a whole lot of fun because there is harness racing Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights at 7.
It's crazy, too. You look at this weather, Cap, that we've had. It's snowing right now. That's not going to stop us tomorrow. We had 2 big snowstorms over the course of the last 3 weeks. Our track crew is insanely good at Hawthorne at dealing with all types of weather. We haven't missed a beat when it comes to weather. But you're right. You have harness racing January, February, March, April, May, June, thoroughbreds, July, August, September, harness, and then end of September through the end of the year for thoroughbreds. So when you're the only game in town, you have to find ways to do a whole lot of things really well and really quickly, and that's what they're doing for the crew there at Hawthorne. So very proud of them, proud to be a part of the Hawthorne family, but everybody does do an awesome job. All right, Cap, we're giving you $100 to place your wagers on the Risen Star. You got much more creative than I did with your wagers because I stuck it all. I basically put all my eggs in one basket, but I want to send it over to you because we're going to keep track of this, so you better do good for the fans, Cap. How did you play the Risen Star?
Well, I think you have all my stuff up there. Let me pull up my ticket that I put together for you guys, because as I look at this race, I really like a 3-horse exacta box. So what I did is I put 20 win in place on my winner at the 3-horse Trafalgar. And then I did a $10 exacta box. I took the 3, the 10, and the 6 and put in, with Pioneer of Medina there, it gives you some chance to have a little bit of odds. I've got a 2 10-to-1 shots in there. Yeah. You got a chance to cash a really nice exacta ticket if you follow me along here. So I'm using all of my 100 and I'm spreading it around.
If you hit this, Cap, it may take me all the way up to the Derby to catch you. So that's one of the things where it's awesome when you have the ability to spread. Here's the cool thing about it. It's $100. It's not like we're playing thousands of dollars by any means. For $100, you have a lot of coverage in that race. So it's one of those things where you could cash and you could cash very nicely there. Now, for me,
by everything's the way, Showdown Andy is not going to come in at like 2 to 1. So I got have a nice payday there.
Slow down Andy's 9 to 2, by the way, Cap, in the morning line. I don't think you'll even get 9 to 2. I think this horse is going to go up. I think you're looking at 5, 6, 7 to 1 on Slow Down Andy. So you very easily could go.
Pioneer of Medina, Slow Down Andy. We're going to box him up nice in a $10 exacta box, and then Trafalgar, $20 win in place.
You can make a lot of money if you hit that. You're going to have huge prices throughout. All right, for me, it's all on Epicenter. I love the race from Epicenter in the LeCompte. Thought the horse got pushed every step of the way and never gave in. I thought it was an excellent effort by the horse. The horse battled all the way to the wire. I'm playing 50 to win on the nose of Epicenter. I think this horse takes him from gate to wire. I don't think anybody catches the horse, Cap. Nobody, none of your 3 horses are going to catch this horse. This horse is going to take him. They're all going to be sniffing that one's behind when they hit the wire. I think Epicenter takes them all the way around. So,
and what do you project Epicenter to go off at?
I think Epicenter is going to be 3-1. I don't think you could have any shot of 4-1. Smile Happy will take money. I think Epicenter will actually go off favored in this race. I think the horse will be a 3-1 favorite.
And you think it's going to go gate to wire?
I do.
No shot.
I love it. Who's going with the horse? Who's going with the horse?
No shot. I may have to throw it into my box just because you're so hell-bent on this horse being the best horse in the race. I think Trafalgar wins the race.
Cap, we'll see what happens. But hey, that's how we see it for this week, Cap. Now, next week, the test we're going to put you to is the Rebel at Oaklawn. Oaklawn's got an awesome setup of races as well. They've had the Southwest. They get the Rebel. They lead into the Arkansas Derby. It's a very cool circuit there in Hot Springs, Arkansas. The Spring Stakes Showdown next week, Cap. 2 races, the Stymie from Aqueduct, the Royal Delta from Gulfstream Park. Again, if you want to sign up for that, get signed up today. The first race is this Saturday. You can sign up by next Saturday, but you don't want to miss out on race number 1. Again, it's free to sign up for. You don't have to be an Illinois resident. There's an NHC seat on the line. There's $15,000 in prizes, Cap. Hey, it's a chance of free money. Everybody should be jumping in on that, right?
Everybody should take a shot. To get a seat in the NHC would be an amazing thing. Guy I went to high school with, David Goodfriend.
Yep.
David Goodfriend, the Maven. He was just in the NHC and was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
You went to high school with the Maven?
Yes.
No way.
There was just an article about him in the Sun Times. I don't know if you saw it. 2-page spread last Saturday, and he talks about how he played poker when he was in high school. Guess who else was sitting at that poker table? Right
was
here.
Was he taking your money?
No, we were taking his money. Now he's an expert. He'd take my money all day long now.
And that's the reason he switched to horse racing. Yes, the Maven just went in to the NTRA Hall of Fame for handicappers. There was a very cool thing. He's a good guy, too. And it's one of those things. I could see you and the Maven getting along. You guys have very similar personalities. You're both very happy people. You're both very outgoing people. You have your opinions and you stick to it, too. But I could also see you taking a little bit of his money, my friend.
No question about it. And he is in the stake showdown, Dakota Schultz tells us. Yep. So, again, you got your hands full dealing with the Maven and Jim Miller. Oh, not going to be easy.
Man, I'm going to take you down, but you know what? If you hit this weekend, all the more power to you. I'm going to have to chase for the rest of the way. But, Cap, I want to thank you for joining us today. Of course, you're a very busy man. Again, you're on ESPN 1000 each and every morning. You're calling college hoops. When's your next college hoops game?
Saturday, I've got Illinois State at Bradley, so looking forward to that.
That's right. Hoodie was talking about a possible return to coaching for you, Cap. That was one of those things.
That's no shot. My wife has made it plenty clear, not happening.
I think that's a good thing, too. But everybody, we want to wish you the best of luck. Make sure you sign up for the Spring Stakes Showdown. Make sure you tune into the Risen Star at Fairgrounds. It's race 13 on Saturday. And Cap, my friend, we'll join you and we'll do this again next week. Sound good?
Next Thursday, 2 o'clock. I look forward to it. And as they like to say, Jimmy!
Ah, you love it. All right, everybody. Have a good week. We'll see you again next week.
All your tickets cash.
That's right.